today, just what your team was able to get done today against Lexington.
Yeah, I mean, I think there was, in the first half, I thought we were too slow with the ball and didn't move it well, and missed sort of the opportunities and the openings that were there. I thought in the second half the tempo was better, the intensity was better, and so, I think, overall, it's probably a good performance in the way of some of the things that we've been working on, but at the end of the day, I think guys probably still need to step up and perform at a higher level, and we'll continue to kind of push that and grow from there.
BJ, both goals today that you gave up seemed to come off turnovers or maybe errors in the back end. How much of that do you attribute to just, early in the season, maybe shaking off some maybe rust and getting into some? How much of that would you really say is something you need to correct early?
Yeah, I mean, I think, the mistakes are always going to happen. We're more concerned about how do we respond from the mistakes. And, so I thought the group as a whole responded fairly well, and kind of went right back and continued to look like us. So, I don't think we don't put too much stock into mistakes. I'd rather them try to continue to play and be like us. Like we said, we'll continue to kind of evaluate it and look forward to it.
When you look at Christian and just the path that he's on right now, trying to develop those connections with Hani, with Sam, how far along would you say they are in that process as you're a few days out at this point?
Yeah, I mean, I think you saw some actions that got us into dangerous spots, and then it's just, right now it's just sort of the execution in that final penalty box area. But I think you saw some good interchanges. Andy was joining in as well, and I think even off the left-hand side with Dan and Sam, and sort of finding the middle of the field with Patrick and Eddie. So I think there was some good opportunities there. It's just kind of the last two passes or the last one pass to kind of really, I would say, create high-quality goal-scoring chances.
It looked like there were a lot of times where either Dan or Andy would kind of pinch in build up and kind of form a three in the back. Is that a shape that you're kind of trying to emphasize in build up?
Yeah, I mean, I think what we're trying to do is get that basically a group of players behind that first wave to try and continue to sustain attacks and be able to build from there, and also try to attract the opponent back out. So for us, I think they did a pretty good job of balancing that out and kind of keeping second phase alive, and at the same time, and then once it gets out to them, can we accelerate back? So I thought they did a pretty good job of that.
How does the setup from Lexington today help prepare your team, and is that something maybe that you could see Tuesday in Champions Cup and some of the similar things against Ottawa?
I mean, for today, the main exercise was to just try to get the next group of 75 minutes into their legs, so that going into Ottawa, every single player is ready to go a full 90 if needed and if called upon.
How much are you using today to evaluate the goalkeeper competition with only Xavier and Joe playing?
Yeah, the goalkeeper, like we've talked about from the beginning, the goalkeeper position is open and competitive, and trying to get, it's obviously a more difficult position to get people playing time. You want to make sure it's worth their while. So yeah, throughout the preseason, we've been trying to make sure that we give guys, not equal minutes, but at least fair evaluative minutes.
BJ, I guess with the departure of Johnny Perez, it seems like the team's got less depth now, obviously because of the type of player he was. Is that put you in a hurry to try and find another player with similar characteristics like he had, or not really?
No, I mean, of course, losing Johnny, he was an impactful player for us. It's time for other guys to step up when their name is called. It doesn't, for us, there's, we're always going to be looking to improve the squad, but I don't think it's under a timeline.
I know I asked after Columbus about Shaq, but just seeing kind of how he played today, it felt like he was more in a wide area, but arrived late in the box really well. Just kind of what did you make of his performance, and kind of what role do you see for him looking forward?
Yeah, I think Shaq showed that he's a versatile player, whether he's up top kind of coming between the lines, or he had some dynamic moments out wide. And so for us, it's just how defining what his role will be. And I thought with the minutes that he was given today that he did a pretty good job of it.
What have you seen from Charles to earn that call-up and an opportunity today and a chance to make an impact with the first team?
Yeah, I mean, I think what you see is he's calm on the ball. He's always going and supporting the ball, got his head up to look to break lines or play behind. So I think a player that can change tempos of the game, whether it's from fast to slowing it down or if we need to speed it up. So I think he's got a good feel for that and did a good job.
BJ, when you look at the team, and there's always been Zurich and of course Hani up front, is it becoming harder for you to actually decide between those two guys and perhaps adding Warren and Woodens?
I mean, I think for us, we know, like, even in this early part of the season, like, every guy's going to get called on because of the volume of games that we have. And I think it's also important, if we're looking at the totality of a season, that we're going to have guys step up and play minutes. It can't just be two guys playing all of the minutes. So I think the improvement to the depth of the squad. And, I don't like to use the word depth because, like, this is a competition. And each guy, when they get their opportunity, you can see how much it matters to them. And at the end of the day, the guys that are in the best form are the ones that are going to play.
When you look at the totality of this whole preseason, where are you most pleased with the progress your team has made from day one to now as you wrap up preseason?
Yeah, I think when you introduce a lot of players, it's just trying to create those connections on and off the field. We just kind of continue to evaluate the signals that the team sends. So I think there's a good cohesiveness to the group. I think there's a good interchange and connections on the field. And so coming out of that preseason now, I think that's going to help us as we move forward, is just kind of a very clear understanding of each other, and then that'll kind of lead to good soccer.
We can do two more guys if you have.
BJ, when it comes to the defensive backs, when you look at Jason and Maxwell, how do you see their pairing so far throughout this preseason and the chemistry?
Yeah, but I think you saw guys that are comfortable stepping into midfield to win duels or to cover space behind. So again, they're going to continue to build that partnership. And again, we've got good competition. The other day, Jack and Thomas played. Chris Applewhite got some time today. There's competition in that position. But again, all of the demands are the same for everybody, which is they've got to be able to play on both sides of the ball and play in an aggressive way.
And then also too, when it comes to the set pieces, when it came from corner kicks, did you like what you saw out of your center backs pressing high up into the box?
Yeah. I mean, I think we want to be aggressive. So I think for both phases of corner kicks, offensively and defensively, we try to be, demand being on first contact. And I thought for the most part, we did a pretty good job.
All right, guys. Thank you.